Presiden Joko Widodo asks KPU start preparing 2024 election. Health Ministry ensures expired COVID-19 vaccine to be destroyed. Good evening. It's Wednesday, April 30th, 2022. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business and economic. And with me, Fajar Wayong, you're watching Market Headlines. Members of the General Election Commission for the period 2022-2027 had been officially inaugurated by President Joko Widodo. After the inauguration, members of the commission confirmed that they would start working to prepare for the 2024 election. Hashim Ashari was elected as chairman of the General Election Commission or KPU for the 2022-2027 period. Hashim, who is also a KPU official for the 2017-2022 period, was elected through a KPU plenary meeting. After completing the plenary meeting, 7 KPU members for the 2022-2027 period underwent a handover of positions. Previously, 7 members of the KPU for the period 2022-2027 had been officially inaugurated by President Joko Widodo. After the inauguration, KPU members confirmed that they would start working to prepare for the 2024 election.
Kami ini tentu akan melanjutkan program-program persiapan-persiapan yang sudah dilakukan oleh KPU periode sebelumnya, yaitu KPU periode 2017-2022. Nah, oleh karena itu, dalam situasi yang semakin mendekati tahapan pemilu, sebagaimana kita ketahui, direncanakan pemungutan suara untuk pemilu tahun 2024 itu pada hari Rabu, tanggal 14 Februari 2024, dan rencananya tahapan akan dimulai pada 14 Juni 2022 ini, sehingga sejak sekarang tinggal menghitung hari untuk menuju dimulainya tahapan pemilu 2024.
For information, the 7 members of the KPU for the 2022-2027 period who have been officially inaugurated are Betty Epsilon Idros, Hashim Ashari, Muhammad Afifuddin, Parsadaan Harahap, Yulianto Sudrajat, Idam Holik, and August Melas. IDX Channel reports. After inaugurated the members of the General Election Commission and the Election Supervisory Body, President Joko Widodo asked the Commission to immediately work on preparing for the simultaneous elections in 2024. President Joko Widodo has officially inaugurated the members of the General Election Commission and the Election Supervisory Body. After the inauguration, the President asked the members of the General Election Commissions and the Election Supervisory Body to immediately work on preparing for the simultaneous general elections and regional head elections which will be held in 2024.
Saya harapkan anggota KPU dan Bawaslu yang baru saja saya lantik dapat segera bekerja, dapat segera tancap gas, langsung berkoordinasi dengan DPR dan pemerintah, menjalankan tugas dan kewenangannya untuk mempersiapkan pemilu dan pilkada serentak sesuai dengan tahapan yang sudah ditentukan pada tahun 2024. Pemerintah akan memberikan dukungan sepenuhnya bagi pelaksanaan tugas KPU dan Bawaslu, terutama dukungan anggaran melalui APBN dan APBD, serta kesiapan teknis lainnya yang dibutuhkan oleh KPU dan Bawaslu.
Not only asking to work immediately, President Joko Widodo ensured that the government will provide full support for the General Election Commission and the Election Supervisory Body, especially from the budget side, through the state budget and regional budget. IDX Channel reports. Finance Ministry sees the potential for swelling energy subsidies amid ongoing global uncertainties. Therefore, the ministry ensures to encourage prudent use of the budget, while at the same time strives to increase state revenue.
The Ministry of Finance ensures that it will encourage prudent use of the budget given the uncertain global situations. The Director General of Treasury of the Ministry of Finance, Hadianto, explained the potential for swelling energy subsidies to be one of the risks monitored by the government, given the target of consolidating the fiscal deficit at 3% in 2023.
Yang mungkin dapat menjadi perhatian kita, ketidakpastian global bisa saja berdampak pada meningkatnya berbagai harga komoditas, sehingga kita juga harus lebih banyak menyiapkan anggaran untuk kenaikan yang berkaitan dengan subsidi dan sebagainya, misalnya seperti itu. Tetapi so far tadi Pak, collect more, spending better, pembiayaan yang pragmatis, sehingga kita harapkan silpasal dan pada ujungnya defisit di bawah 3%.
The Ministry of Finance details steps to increase state revenue through tax instruments and their derivatives supported by the law on harmonizations of tax regulations. The government also ensures better spending budgeting, which is directed at spending that supports development. IDX Channel reports.
And we're moving on to global update. US President Joe Biden asked Indian Prime Minister not to step up India's use of Russian oil. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka doctors warn of critical equipment shortage as economic crisis worsens. More stories on today's International Minute. United States President Joe Biden has held a constructive, direct conversation with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as the U.S. is seeking more help from India to apply economic pressure on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Biden told Modi that his administration could help India diversify its oil imports, but that it was not in New Delhi's interest to increase energy imports from Moscow. Doctors in Sri Lanka are warning of a critical shortage of life-saving drugs and medical supplies as the country faces a worsening economic crisis. The health ministry had instructed state hospitals to cut down on non-essential surgeries and medical procedures and minimize the use of products like sirens and gauze. Doctors have warned that a catastrophic number of people could die as the crisis hit country's healthcare system. Shares of Warner Bros. Discovery rose on Monday, the first trading day of the media and streaming firm formed the $43 billion merger of Discovery and assets of AT&T. Warner Bros. Discovery shares were up 0.8%, while AT&T stock climbed 2% before the bell. AT&T and Discovery set out to create a standalone media business in May last year, and the deal closed on Friday with the new business housing channels including HBO, CNN and the Discovery Channel. Japan's Honda Motor plans to spend $64 billion on research and development over the next decade, laying out an ambitious target to roll out 30 electric vehicle models globally by 2030. Its goals include producing some 2 million electric vehicles a year by 2030, aiming to gain share in the fast-growing market for electric vehicles led by Tesla, while Japanese automakers race falling behind European and US rivals. IDX Channel reports. Various instruments and innovations boost Indonesia's Sharia capital market. Market headlines. We'll be right back.
Ingin menjalani kehidupan yang mapan dan masa depan yang sejahtera? Sikapi uang dengan bijak. Mulailah berinvestasi di pasar modal. Dengan membeli saham melalui Bursa Efek maupun perusahaan sekuritas, Anda dapat menikmati hasil keuntungan dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar yang tersedia. Pastikan Anda berinvestasi di perusahaan yang memiliki izin resmi. Cerdas mengelola, masa depan sejahtera. Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, lembaga pengawas industri jasa keuangan yang terpercaya.
Meniti langkah kemenangan di bulan Ramadan. Saksikan program-program pilihan yang menginspirasi di bulan Ramadan. Kids Menu, Program masak-memasak menyajikan menu spesial tapi mudah untuk dibuat. Cocok untuk kegiatan di dapur bersama buah hati. Small Space. Ide pemanfaatan ruang minimalis menjadi tempat usaha yang nyaman beserta tips untuk memulai usaha. Quran Inspiration. Belajar bagaimana Al-Quran mempengaruhi kehidupan dari sudut pandang seorang public figure. Today Special. Mencicipi menu dari restoran dan hotel terkenal, mengintip langsung cara pembuatan serta tips memasak dari chef profesional. Saksikan program-program inspirasi Ramadan hanya di IDX Channel. Perbincangan hangat tentang isu dan kebijakan ekonomi terkini yang diulas secara mendalam bersama narasumber terpercaya. Market Review, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat, hanya di IDX Channel.
Eropa kompak bergerak positif.
Awali hari Anda dengan informasi dunia ekonomi yang diulas dari berbagai sudut pandang.
Level tertinggi
Power Breakfast, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 8.30, hanya di IDX Channel.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. The Ministry of Health ensures that COVID-19 vaccines that have been declared to have exceeded their distribution period or have expired will be immediately destroyed. The ministry ensures that the vaccines that will be given to the public are of good quality. Spokesperson for COVID-19 vaccination, Siti Nardia Tarmizi, explained that basically the COVID-19 vaccine does not last long because it is still in the emergency use permit scheme. Even the BPOM has temporarily set the vaccine expiration period of around 6 to 12 months. Data related to the COVID-19 vaccine that is entering its expiration period will continue to be monitored. Meanwhile, as many as 1.53 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine from grants also have the potential to expire this month.
Dimusnahkan ya, tentunya vaksin yang masa habis edarnya ini akan dikumpulkan dan akan dilakukan prosedur pemusnahan. Kita tahu ada prosedur-prosedur pemusnahan termasuk pemusnahan obat, pemusnahan vaksin yang nanti akan dilakukan. Jadi dipastikan bahwa vaksin yang diberikan kepada masyarakat itu adalah vaksin yang kualitasnya baik.
Jasa Marga has predicted that the peak of the 2022 Eid homecoming traffic will occur on April 29, while the peak of the return trip will happen on May 8. Regarding this, Jasa Marga ensures that it has carried out a number of intensive preparations.
State-owned toll road operator Jasa Marga has predicted that the peak of the 2022 Eid homecoming traffic will occur on April 29th, while the peak of the return trip will happen on May 8th. This was conveyed by the enterprise's head of corporate communications and community development group, Duimawan Heru, at the press conference. The number of vehicles used during the 2022 homecoming trip is expected to exceed the figure recorded in the 2019 homecoming, which was patched as around 2.5 million vehicles, he added. The homecoming flow dropped by 40% in 2020 to around 900,000 vehicles. Meanwhile, there were around 1.4 million vehicles.
OJK noted that the large value of Sharia capital market capitalization is supported by various investment instruments, both from public offerings of shares and issuance of sukuk and other corporate actions that are currently being carried out by various companies. OJK reveals the value of outstanding corporate sukuk reached 36.71 trillion rupiah, and the outstanding state sukuk reached 1,127 trillion rupiah. Meanwhile, the capitalization value of the Sharia stock market has reached 4,254 trillion rupiah. The Sharia capital market is also supported by the Sharia online trading system that makes investors easier in managing their assets and investment.
Selain penerbitan sukuk negara oleh pemerintah, sudah cukup banyak korporasi yang menerbitkan efek syariah dalam memperoleh pendanaan, baik melalui penawaran umum saham atau sukuk, atau melalui kegiatan corporate action lainnya. Sesuai data per 1 April 2022, nilai kapitalisasi pasar saham yang masuk daftar efek syariah telah mencapai kurang lebih sekitar 4.254.
After submitted the 2021 annual report to the President, Ombudsman stated that the President promises to follow up the results of Ombudsman supervision. At the same time, the President hopes Ombudsman can improve its supervision and synergize with state institutions and local governments.
In a meeting with the President, Ombudsman submitted the 2021 annual report. Chairman of the Ombudsman, Muhammad Najib, said the results of the Ombudsman performance over the past year focus on several issues, including the completion of community reports, prevention of maladministrations, and institutional development.
Untuk melakukan peningkatan atau penguatan kelembagaan lewat perbaikan atau revisi undang-undang dan juga peraturan perundang-undangan berkaitan dengan Ombudsman Republik Indonesia dan juga pemenuhan sarana prasarana yang lain. Nah, respon Presiden menyambut baik apa yang sudah kita kerjakan selama 1 tahun dan mengharapkan bahwa di masa-masa mendatang Ombudsman terus bisa bekerja dan meningkatkan pengawasannya lebih baik lagi.
According to Najib, the President welcomed the performance of the Ombudsman over the past year. Jokowi also expressed his hope that in the future the Ombudsman can continue to work and improve its supervisions even more. The President also hopes that the Ombudsman will continue to synergize with state institutions, ministries, and local government in their work. IDX Channel reports.
Mitra di Perkasa gained 438 billion rupiah net profit in 2021. Right after the break on market headline.
IHSG kembali mengakhiri pekan lalu dengan rekor tertingginya.
Reksadana saham berhasil menjadi reksadana dengan kinerja terbaik.
Awali hari Anda dengan informasi dunia ekonomi yang diulas dari berbagai sudut pandang. Simak pula analisa pasar modal dan inspirasi bisnis dari berbagai perusahaan rintisan.
Otomatis reksadana saham masih cukup menarik untuk kuartal 2 tahun 2020.
Power Breakfast, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 8.30, hanya di IDX Channel. Perbincangan hangat tentang isu dan kebijakan ekonomi terkini yang diulas secara mendalam bersama narasumber terpercaya. Market Review, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat, hanya di IDX Channel.
Presidente della Repubblica di Indonesia.
Presidensi G20 di Indonesia akan mendorong upaya bersama untuk pemulihan ekonomi dunia dengan tema Recover Together, Recover Stronger. Kami akan menjamu Yang Mulia dan Bapak Ibu di hamparan pantai Bali yang indah yang menginspirasi gagasan-gagasan inovatif untuk produktivitas G20 ke depan. Sampai bertemu di Indonesia, terima kasih.
You're watching Market Headlines. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 7,257.23. And then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 7,232.19. And then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 7,262.78. And in short, JCI went up 0.67%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got energy sector as the leader of strengthening trend that went up 3.46%. Infrastructure went up 2.05%. Non-cyclic as the leader of weakening trend went down 0.66%. And cyclic sector went down 0.11%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Goto went up 1.08% to the level of 374 rupiah per share. Adaro Energy went up 6.69% to the level of 3,350 rupiah per share. ADMR went up 9.56% to the level of 2,750 rupiah per share. While Aneka Tambang went up 4.49% to the level of 2,790 rupiah per share. And meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got IATA went down 3.76% to the level of 256 rupiah per share. Arto went down 2.26% to the level of 13,000 rupiah per share. Kisco went down 6.73% to the level of 194 rupiah per share. And Energi Mega Persada went down 2.7% to the level of 180 rupiah per share. And let's see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,298 rupiah, showing weakening trend towards US dollar, and it was closed at the level of 14,356. In summary, rupiah went down 0.41%. Supported by an increase in the number of visitors and online sales realization, Mitra Adi Perkasa achieved net profit of 438.9 billion rupiah in 2021.
Supported by an increase in the number of visitors throughout 2021, Mitra Adi Perkasa or MAPI managed to record an increase in sales and revenue. MAPI recorded an increase in sales across all channels, including offline and online stores. This reflects the recovery in consumer demand across MAPI's diverse retail segments, namely department stores, specialty stores, and food and beverage. Throughout 2021, MAPI posted a 24.1% increase in net income to 18.4 trillion rupiah. Then GPM increased to 41.8%. Operating profit jumped to 1.2 trillion rupiah from an operating loss of 56.9 billion rupiah. EBITDA grew 53.2% from 2.3 trillion rupiah to 3.5 trillion rupiah. Meanwhile, net profit in 2021 reached 438.91 billion rupiah, a much higher increase compared to the 2020 situations when MAPI had to bear a net loss of 553.71 billion rupiah. IDX Channel report.
Paper issuer Chewy Kimia posted positive performance throughout 2021. The company's net sales increased by 18.24%, while net profit jumped by 67.87%. Paper issuer Chewy Kimia posted an increase in performance throughout 2021. The company recorded an increase in revenue to net profit in 2021. In its financial statements, the company recorded net sales of $1.02 billion in 2021, or equivalent to 14.7 trillion rupiah. These sales increased 18.24%. Each of the company's sales segments, namely cultural paper and industrial paper, experienced an increase in sales. The cultural paper segment mainly consists of printing and writing paper and other related paper products, recording a 9.5% increase in sales to $705.7 million in 2021. Throughout 2021, the company also recorded an increase in exports in several regions, namely in Asia to $461.8 million and in Europe to $35.6 million. With this increase in performance, the company was able to print a net profit of $249 million, or equivalent to 3.57 trillion rupiah. This number increased 67.87% from 2020. IDX Channel reports. Teladan Primagro officially listed its shares on the Indonesia Stock Exchange. From the IPO, the company raised fresh funds of 300 billion rupiah. Teladan Primagro officially listed its shares on the Indonesia Stock Exchange. Teladan Primagro became the 16th listed company on the IDX in 2022. The palm oil company, which owns all of its concession in East Kalimantan, has released 517.6 million new shares with a nominal value of 100 rupiah per share, or 4% of the issued or paid-up capital. The public offering period took place from April 4 to 8, 2022, with the total proceeds from the public offering amounting to 300.35 billion rupiah. Wisnu Wardana, President Director of Teladan Primagro, said that the listing of shares is a historic step for the company, which has officially become a public company. Wisnu added that Teladan Primagro shares received a positive response and high demand from investors. This is reflected in the oversubscribed 16 times. IDX Channel reports.
And the news close our market headlines today, and please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business and capital market channel. I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Dengan informasi terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. Memberikan berbagai macam kebutuhan informasi.
Memberikan informasi ekonomi dan bisnis Indonesia juga mancanegara.
Merupakan hal penting dalam mendukung keputusan investasi Anda.
Saksikan program-program ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya.